Hi, this is Sami Wunder from SamiWunderCoaching.com and your struggle with love. In today's short video, I want to give you 3 tips on how to make your first date fun. I know that first dates are not really our favorite part of dating because that's the time when we don't know the guy at all and we have all these cranky and anxiety ridden and nervous feelings in our tummy about what is it going to be like, how is it going to be, and is he going to like me, am I going to like him, all those whirling thoughts are going on in our head. And so I thought that for all the single ladies in my readership and in my community, it might be very helpful to give you 3 tips on how you can make your first dates fun. So my first tip is keep it short. Now, while this might sound like common sense, trust me when I say that I have clients who plan full days, full day picnic, full day hike, full day adventure with a man they have never met. And this is not in your best interest because precisely of the same reason, you don't know him, you don't know how this is going to go. And so my suggestion is to always keep the first dates short. If you really like the guy and if he really likes you, you can also just trust that he's going to ask you out again. So you don't need to spend 8 hours with him on the first date. Also because you don't want to overload him with intimacy. You know that intimacy or the process of getting to know each other and getting closer is a process that takes time and should take place over time and not in one day. So keeping a date short helps you if you like the guy because you don't overload it with intimacy. You give him the opportunity to ask you out again. It also helps you because if you don't like the guy, you can get out of the situation without much drama. So my suggestion usually to my clients is 1 hour date. If you are not liking him and you want to get out, it's perfect. And even if you like him a lot and he's the one you really like and you know it's going really well, then keep it to 2 hours max. Okay, so in either way, keep it short. Now, the second tip is keep it light. So many women, and I can't emphasize this enough, so many women do this. They make their first date sound like an interview. So instead of asking him, so what do you do for fun? They ask him, what do you do at your work? How much do you earn? And what are your life's goals? And what do you want to achieve? And do you have a plan for the future? Are you looking for marriage? I know this sounds really overboard, but so many women do it. And it's because we have this urge to really get to know the man that we are dealing with right at the start. And while there's nothing wrong with this urge, it can end up sounding very pressurizing and very heavy. And it's not the most turning on conversation for a man because guess what? He does it all the time. He does job interviews all the time at his workplace. So when you're with him on a first date, you want to keep it light. Of course, you want to get to know him. But asking a man these checklist of questions is not the only way to get to know him. You can also get to know him by asking him what does he do for fun? What does he do on leisure? And what is it that really makes him come alive? And what are the things that he lives for? And this is another way of getting to know him, but without sounding too heavy and too interview-like. So you don't want your first date to sound like an interview. What languages do you speak? What countries you've traveled to? Don't make it sound like an interview. You want to keep it light, easy, and fun. The third tip, final tip, is choose an activity for your first date. He can choose it, you can choose it. If he asks you what do you want to do, choose an activity that you want to do together with him, which is fun and in public. Now, this means that you could go to a museum, you could go to an exhibition, you could go for a walk in the park. And what this does is that it takes away the pressure of a dinner-like date. So I'm not really fond of those dinner-like dates for a first date because they have a very constricted environment and they sort of feel formal to me. And you feel like you have to act a certain way even though you hardly know the other person. So for me, what I suggest and what feels good to me is to go for a first date where you just do something that you would have done anyway, like going to an exhibition, going to for a walk in the park, and then you do it with a companion. So you do it with him. This way, even if your first date is not going and feeling the way you would have wanted it to go and feel, you're still doing something you enjoy doing. So it's not really a loss, right? And it keeps the pressure down. It gives you an opportunity to move around together, to laugh, to talk, and to still do something that you want to do. And this makes the first date, in my opinion, much more fun, much less anxiety ridden, and much less a pressure situation. So, those were my 3 tips for a first date. Keep it short, keep it light, and keep it in a public place, and do an activity that you wanted to do anyway, just doing this with another man that you don't know. Okay? I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or clarifications, please do not hesitate to ask me directly by commenting in the comment section below, and I will answer you straight away. Lots of love, Sami, and good luck with the dating.